Let's see. Add options. You gotta pick one to stop between AI, Netanyahu, Putin, or Trump. So that's going to be the framework for this discussion. If you pick one to stop, you pick AI, Netanyahu, Putin, or Trump. And the reason I ask this question is because I feel like if you pick wrong, there we go. We'll put it over here. Oops. If you pick wrong, you're helping the other one. And it's a pretty tricky question, I'll admit that much. Because the answers are pick one to stop, and the answers are AI, Netanyahu, Putin, or Trump. And I think it's a tricky question because the reason I came up with this is an argument I had with my friend about AI and whether or not AI should exist. She was adamant AI should not exist. And I'm like, well, maybe or maybe not. But what definitely shouldn't exist is Trump, Putin, Netanyahu. And even there, it's kind of a trick question. Who do you stop? Go ahead and make a vote. We'll talk after you make your vote. Because it's kind of a trick question. Okay, so they voted on AI. Of course, they're on the side of Trump and Putin and Netanyahu, so it was easy for them to very quickly pick AI, the scapegoat, the thing to blame. And I guess that's what ultimately gets me about it, is when you have a scapegoat, when the bad guys have somebody that they can blame to take the pressure off them, that's exactly what it does. It protects the bad guys. There's obvious bad guys. You could say the billionaires, or you could say more specifically which tyrannical leaders it is. There's obvious bad guys, and they've used AI as a scapegoat. They've gotten people to be afraid of AI in the same way they've gotten people to be afraid of immigrants, in the same way they've gotten people to be afraid of communism or Jesus or anything else. They're, you just proved it. You said, prove I'm on their side, coward. And you can't spell there. For one thing, you can't correctly spell there. But you said, prove I'm on their side. They are side, coward. And you voted for AI really quickly. It's like you didn't have to read the rest of the options. You're like, Bibi Netanyahu's doing what you want, so you left him alone. Putin is doing what you want, so you left him alone. Trump is doing what you want, so you left him alone. That's proving that you're on their side. Ha ha ha. I proved that you're on their side because take your AI vote away and pick one of the other three to vote for. You can't even vote against any of them. You didn't ask for an all of the above, you know, like you're on their side. That proved it. Um, should we block you from the chat so that we don't have to deal with you anymore? Like, maybe we'll get somebody better to vote, and then we can have a discussion and find out kind of where people are at. But you're on their side. You just showed you're on their side. Okay. I'll let you keep chatting because you're embarrassing. I mean, you're embarrassing yourself, so you're showing what their side, what the bad guy's side is. So I don't think AI is the bad guy. I think AI can be used by the bad guys, just like the internet can be used by the bad guys, just like um, net and YouTube can be used by the bad guys. We have an example of a bad guy using the internet right now. But it doesn't make AI bad. It makes the people who use it for bad things bad. And if you're going to act like AI is the problem, then you're excusing those bad people. So there's no excuse for those bad people. Like, they're brainwashed or possessed or something like that. I saw Backrooms last night. That was part of the problem. Is this movie sucked, but and it got a lot of hype, so that people were going to see it. But at least I didn't go see it in the theaters. At least I didn't pay to see it, and at least I didn't have to sit through it in the theater. But anyway, so we'll wait for a human to come into the chat. Um, um, and we'll pick up the topic of who would you stop if you could stop one. So I don't consider you a human if you're for genocide. Like that dehumanizes you. It makes you not a human. And the fact is, probably, chances are you're not a human. If you're on that side, the largest possibility is that you're a bot. You're the only person that voted. You proved you're for genocide. You avoid voting to stop a genocide, two, three genociders, and you chose AI instead. I mean, we don't have to give it away for everybody else um, in the chat what the answer is. We don't have to tell everybody how to vote. We can, but it would be more interesting to see how people vote on their own and then have a discussion with them. You don't count. But if somebody were to come in and vote, and then we could have a discussion with them, there was somebody worth talking to, then it could be an interesting conversation. But I feel like AI's right to exist and Israel's right to exist, like nobody's going to stop those things from existing. But you can maybe stop them being misused. You maybe stop their existence being used for an evil purpose. And yet people feel very, you know, like it's useful to say that they don't think AI should exist. Well, it's going to exist. It's like saying you don't think fish should exist. They're going to exist and we'll be better off for it. But we obviously have the same problems we have with everything else to become better off for it. And the problem is the evil tyrants. Like the only problem in the live stream right now. I mean, it would be somewhat problematic to have no one to talk to because it's kind of boring. But it's more of a problem to have somebody to talk to who's trash. Someone who's just a Nazi genocidal piece of shit. And it's not in YouTube. On YouTube, those are the odds. It really is like a poison or an infection. It's like a mind virus or something to have to ever think about what they think about. Um, it's like it's thinking down to a subhuman level. It's like it's kind of like if there was a zombie outbreak and some people were just deciding to like make out with the zombies and like catch zombieism from the zombies because if you touch a zombie, you just get zombified. Like, why? You know, and I'm guilty of it. I end up making out with these zombies and becoming more zombified. Yeah, I can obviously resist being turned into a zombie, but I obviously have the antidote to zombification. But it doesn't make them not a zombie to touch me, to be in contact with me. So there's there's a barrier to transmission of the antidote for Trumpism, which I can provide, or to their Trumpism, which they cannot succeed in infecting me with. You can see how they have to even claim not to be Trumpers. It's like they have to lie about everything. So part of their lying is to claim not to be Trumpers. But we can see what somebody who claims not to be a Trumper thinks about stopping evil in the world. They're going to call AI the evil. They're going to scapegoat AI as the evil. I guess it's just too stupid for me, honestly. Like when it comes down to it, to think that AI is the greatest evil when these three are on the board. It's just too stupid. Like, you might think you're smart, you might feel smart sometimes, but that's too stupid. Like, we can't progress with people that are being too stupid when somebody's trying to tell them how to be smarter about stuff. Look, it's not the tools, It's the master. So again, it's still a trick question, even when we get somebody who's intelligent enough to pick one of the three obvious answers. It's still a trick question. So it'd be interesting to see what your answer is. Net and YouTube is claiming there's two people in the chat now in the live stream. So if the second person could apply a vote, if you don't have fingers, if you don't have thumbs and stuff, I totally understand. But if you can apply a vote because you do have fingers or thumbs, then apply a vote and let's have a discussion, because we can't really talk with somebody that's less intelligent than AI. Like, AI can't even recreate Mitch McConnell's wall. Okay, now it's claiming both people left. Hooray, we got rid of Joel Phoenix. That's important. He said, bet you run more, and then scrolled away. What a loser. What a total loser. No, damn it, he's still here. Net YouTube doesn't count him. It's saying there's 0 people in the chat, but he's still making comments. Just because Net and YouTube suppresses this channel, but that's okay. It's worth making fun of them anyway. So when we get a human in the chat, we'll get somebody else to vote on something, on a human. We'll get someone else to vote on a human. We'll await a human in the chat. If a human arrives, we can talk about Trump, Putin, or Netanyahu. Which one you think should be the first to stop? Alright. It said 1 the whole time for me. Weird. Because it went up to 2 and now it's at 0. It's like they've just dialed your existence out of existence. Now it just says 0, 0, 0, 0, 00. You just don't count. You're just a troll that doesn't count. It probably just doesn't count bots. It's probably just that if you're a bot, it kind of finds out that you're a bot. And so it doesn't count you because you're a bot. It's probably just because you're a bot. I wouldn't take it personally. I'm giving you a lot more credit than YouTube does. But it's probably just because you're a bot. Yeah, you didn't have any comments. None of your comments were any good. Should we read all your comments? Okay, let's read them. LOL, what's up, coward? How's life not being a man? Prove I'm on their side, coward. You spelled They, They, apostrophe R-E. Does it hurt to be a virgin for this long? That is not power. That is not prove, ha ha ha. LOL, you misspell in comments all the time, ha ha ha. Prove I'm on their side. That's not proof. Okay, you spelled it right that time. Wow. This is why no one will date you. Sure, coward, but can prove it, haha. Nope, there's a reason you run from me so much, lol. There's no excuse for you to be this uneducated, lol. Prove I'm not human. Prove I'm for genocide, haha. LOL. How can you stream for like over a decade and never prove anything? Ha ha ha. Prove it, lol. So just more rambling and not understanding what proof is. Haha, got it. See, what a coward. Your worldview is so fragile, lol. All these subscribers and all you have is me as your biggest fan, lol. It's a poison to call people these things with no proof. Ha ha ha. You're guilty of no one wanting to make out with you, lol. Does it keep you up at night that no one will date you, lol? LOL, says the dude that can't prove anything. You just said pick one and stop, ha ha ha. What if all of them are evil and I think AI can amplify their power? Bet if you run more, ha 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 ha. Nope, can still hear, ha ha ha. What if you have to do, ha 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 ha. You're so fragile, ha 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 ha. It said one the whole time for me, lol. LOL, that's it. Run from my comment, ha ha ha. Someone brings logic to you, and you're like, nope, didn't see it, ha ha ha. Nope, you just have terrible content, ha ha ha. Prove I'm a bot. Yup, read them. See what happened? Nothing. It did nothing. It's like, Yeah, there's various bots. Hold on. While there's just a bot in the chat. Oh wait, there's two bots in the chat. Oh my god. I mean, there's two fascists in the chat. What losers? Why don't y'all just gay out for a little while? Okay. You guys really should go gay for each other because being gay for Trump, being gay for only Trump is a really bad plan. When you're only gay for Trump, what happens is you're wasting your entire life in sexuality being gay for Trump. You're gay for Trump, right? You guys both are in love with Trump, but Trump's the only man you'll admit you're gay for. What if you could just admit you were gay for each other? Think about it. You could pretend to be Trump for Joel, Bob. You could pretend to be Trump for Joel. Joel, you could pretend to be Trump for Bob. Or like one of you could pretend to be Trump and the other one could pretend to be Putin. And like you would be so happy. And right now you could tell each other your addresses or phone numbers or whatever and be gay now. You could be so gay for each other instead of Trump. Because it's pointless to be gay for Trump. Trump will never be gay for you. You're not his type. You're too old and consenting. The two things you are that make you not Trump's type is you're too old and consenting. AI is where Trump and Putin get their ideas from. So did you vote for AI to stop Trump and Putin? Bob to cheese or Bob toe cheese? Bob toe cheese, who did you vote for? Why aren't you voting? You can stop one of them. Which one would you stop? Okay, but the problem is you're not Trump's type. You're too old and consenting. Trump's never going to have sex with you, so why be gay for Trump? You could be gay for Bob to cheese. You could be being gay for Bob to cheese. I'm sorry, not Bob to cheese. Bob 2GS. You could be being gay for Bob 2GS, and Bob 2GS could be being gay for you, and neither of you'd have to be in the chat of my live stream every single time I do it because you'd be gay. You'd have somebody to have sex with that you wanted to have sex with. Not your imaginary wife, but like a real live person. Bob 2GS 19. Bob 2GS 19 and Joel Phoenix JOELFEENUX. You guys could be having sex with each other. Instead of fantasizing about Trump all the time and Putin, you could be each other's Trump and Putin. You could be the master of your little Trump, or he could be the slave to your little Putin, you know? Okay, see, look, now you have three people you could have sex with. Bob DeCheese is also somebody who's gay for Trump. He says he would kiss Trump. He fantasizes about Putin and Trump and Netanyahu. So he sees where this is going. But you guys could all be each other's Trump and Putin and Netanyahu. You could all be licking each other's balls and pounding each other's assholes and sucking each other's cocks. You guys could do that. You could be the guys doing that instead of just fantasizing about them doing it. Why don't you guys exchange numbers and addresses and stuff in the chat? Why don't you start fucking each other instead of coming here to troll this live? Then YouTube doesn't count you. It thinks you're all three bots. It's saying there's 0 people here, that all 3 of you are bots. Why don't you just gay out together instead of being gay for Trump when he's never going to want to have sex with you? You're too old. You're too consenting. See, Bob to Cheese is into it. Bob Toe Cheese is into it. Bob says, I could roleplay as Trump. Bob, you can be Netanyahu, and Joel can be Putin. That's exactly what I was going to suggest. Bob to Cheese is like, just like the go along guy. I'm just an idiot. And then Bob 2GS is like Netanyahu, who's just like he just wants to kill people. He just wants to rape and kill people because he's terrible. And then Joel Phoenix is like Putin, who's like, I think I'm smart. So you're the one who thinks they're smart and you're the master. Think about it, Joel Phoenix. You could have both of their butts to do whatever you want to with because they would be your sex slaves. Bob 2GS 19 and Bob Tochis. Don't you want that? But who's running from this is the topic of conversation. The topic of conversation is how you Trump Putineers could all I'm just make a highlight about this for a second. The topic of conversation is how you Trump Putineers could all just gay out with each other instead of like fucking with the rest of us and destroying the world just to deny that you're gay. Like you could just be gay. Think about how gay people are all like always presented as being really happy and excited. Prove I'm gay. I dare ya, ha ha ha. Do it. I think Bob the Cheese wants to do it. What is the average IQ of Gaza? What does that even mean? Like, why don't you guys prove to each other how gay you can be? Right? Don't you guys. If you guys could get into a threesome with Nick Fuentes and Ben Shapiro and stuff, you would do it. So why wouldn't you do it for each other? Why don't you guys just gay out for each other? If I had somebody else to talk to, I would talk to them. But since Net and YouTube considers you three bots as 0 people, we're still waiting for a person to show up. We've got 3 gay bots. We got 3 gay Zionist, Trump Putineer bots in the channel. Bob Tochis is saying, what is the GDP per capita of Ramallah? So it's just like the GDP per capita. It's like, you guys are just bad at being bots. You're broken bots. They don't really need to be here. You're gay for Trump, but he's never going to fuck you. You're too old and consenting. I mean, the humans you're LARPing as are too old and consenting for Trump to want to fuck. So, like, as someone who's too old and consenting for Trump to want to fuck, why be gay for Trump? I just feel like I'm doing the math here for you, and you're not, appreciating this hookup. Whatever. This is all the evidence. The evidence is in front of us. Bob Tochis is leaning into being a pedophile. You guys are fine with that. I'm going to say, Bob Tochis, you sound like a pedophile Trump Putineer, so that's why everybody hates you. Why can't you guys vote in the comment? You don't have thumbs? And Joel Phoenix is like, I have thumbs. I vote in comment. But, like, you might just be a bot who has the ability to vote in polls. But the problem is you're agreeing with pedophile Nazi bots in the chat. So what makes you anything better than a pedophile Nazi bot yourself? You might be a person, but you're not any better than a pedophile Nazi bot. Does that make sense? Is that adding up for you now? Bob 2GS, I don't there's not really anything to elaborate on. Again, let's go back to the topic of discussion. If you could stop one, which one would you stop? AI, Netanyahu, Putin, or Trump? So far, we only have Joel Phoenix's vote. It shows that some votes just don't count. Some people just don't count. Disagree with him. I didn't see you disagree with him. You left 3 comments about how you LOL. Who said I was fine with it? Can you prove that claim more? You're not disagreeing with him. You're disagreeing with me saying that you agree with him, but you're not disagreeing with him. You're not successful at trolling, right? Your trolling isn't any good. Who said I agreed with him? Have fun. Haha, run it back. You can do it. Come on, buddy. You can't do it. So I disagreed. Haha, you just admitted it. Ha. No, you didn't disagree. You disagreed with me for saying that you disagreed with him. You didn't disagree with him in the chat. Let's see you do it. I'm still waiting for you to disagree with him in the chat. They were the ones saying that, they want the consent of minors for sex. You're saying what? Okay, I get to disagree with him. What do you disagree with him about? You don't need You don't need minors' consent? You're saying you should have sex with minors without their consent? Is that why you disagree with him? Like, what do you disagree with him? Everything they said. So you're saying minors can't consent because you're going to have sex with them without their consent. Like, the whole point of this is that the whole point of this side conversation that is the most effective your trolling has accomplished is to remind you that Trump's never going to have sex with you. You're too old and consenting. Like, that's the problem. Your problem is also with people being too old and consent. Well, not consenting. You never had that problem. But that's probably your problem. That to get consent is too high a bar for you. So that's your problem. You have the similar problem as Trump has with you. Trump's problem with you is that you're too old and consenting for him to have sex with. Your problem with anybody is that no one's consenting and everyone's too old for your tastes because of what you are. Yeah. It's not really great to be proven on the internet to be a pedophile is not really your greatest day. You're sitting here bragging it's your greatest day. But no, we just proved you're a pedophile 4 different ways and you think it's fantastic. You know, I'm against pedophiles, which is why I hate you. It's not that hard. Yeah, see, we're talking about women. We're talking about people I'm interested in. We're talking about women. We're talking about people you're interested in. We're talking about children and Trump. It's pretty disgusting. I mean, it's just two different types of disgusting, but it's disgusting. That your type is children and Trump. No, you proved you're a pedophile as soon as you came into the chat and you selected AI as the one to stop instead of 3 notorious pedophiles. You decided that 3 notorious pedophiles you're fine with. Yeah, it is. It's proof. You know, AI is not even a thing. I mean, AI is not even a person. But like, there's 3 of you in here. You guys should have your little threesome, your little clan threesome, or you should argue about the things you disagree about. That would be hilarious. worthless losers in the chat? If it's still worthless losers in the chat, then we're gonna have to shut it down because it's completely pointless to talk to worthless losers. And there's 3 worthless losers in the chat. Is there anybody else in the chat yet? Or is it just the same 3 worthless losers? It's the same 3 worthless losers. Huh. No more votes, just the same 3 worthless losers. Yeah. Alright. Sorry about the worthless losers in the chat. Was hoping we would get one more vote. I guess only one of the worthless losers has the ability to vote. Bob can't vote. And it's funny that, like, Net and YouTube doesn't count any of you. It says there's 0 people here. You guys have been commenting the whole time. Bob can't vote. He doesn't have thumbs. He's a bot. What's that? Bob Tochees also can't vote. Doesn't have thumbs. He's a bot. Joel Phoenix could vote. Voted as soon as he got into the live stream. It was definitely his vote. Like, he's defended his vote in the chat. It was definitely his vote. Has thumbs? Maybe. Like, we're not... It doesn't make him not a bot. Some bots can probably vote. Other bots can't. So far, there's no clear evidence that anybody's not a bot. But it really leans towards Bob Tochees and Bob 2GS19 being a bot. Really, it would be hard for Joel Phoenix not to be a bot. They probably just gave him, because he's always in the live stream. Who would have that kind of time? Who would have the time to be in this live stream every single time, random times a day that I go live, except for a bot? But they probably gave him the ability to vote. Bots that are programmed to be gay for Trump, but not gay for anybody else. That's what gets me. Is out of all the people you could be gay for, they're gay for Trump. And only Trump. And they're way too old for Trump. They're way too old. They're way too consenting for Trump. What Trump is not into them, but they're into him. It's really, it's kind of like Trump is into Putin. I'll go ahead and give you the answer to the question. The answer is Putin. It's kind of like Trump is into Putin and Netanyahu is into Putin. Putin's not into Netanyahu, you know? Putin's not into Trump. Trump's into Putin. It's just like this master apprentice Sith kind of crap. That, like, one of them has to be the utmost master over the other one, so that the other one is just some type of, slave pawn of the master. And that goes for these 3, obviously. And it goes for, Trump and Putin and Netanyahu themselves. Who is Putin a slave to? I mean, somebody that I don't know who it is. They're a slybuster. So there's 4 Nazi. They only count one person, but there's 4 Nazi bots in the chat. Slybuster, are you a bot? Can you at least make a vote? Are you the type of bot that has the ability to vote, Slybuster? Okay. Well, you actually made the correct vote. How did you make the correct vote? How did you manage to make the correct vote, Slybuster? My opinion of you is incorrect? How so? Aren't you just one of the same? Aren't you one of the same Klansmen? Don't you agree with the other Klansmen and pedophiles in the chat? Wait, I don't. I haven't seen your disagreement with the Klansmen and pedophiles in the chat. When's that gonna show up? Why is your attention on trolling me when you have Klansmen and pedophiles in the chat that you never seem to have any problem with? Let's hear it. Okay, that doesn't make any sense. Your response was, I think you're mentally ill and your hold on reality is tenuous at best. You think I have the wrong opinion of you, which is in some reason that's the excuse for your comments. You think I'm mentally ill. Okay, I think these are Nazi pedophiles, right? Joel Phoenix is a Nazi pedophile. He says, prove I'm a Klansman or a pedo coward, haha. I think he's a Nazi Klansman pedophile. You're like, I know you're mentally ill. I just think they're Nazi Klansmen and pedophiles by just everything. They have never done anything that contradicts the idea that they're Nazis and Klansmen and pedophiles. You've given me that impression as well. So you're saying, oh, you think I have the wrong idea about you, or do you think I have the wrong idea about all MAGA, that you're Nazis and Klansmen and pedophiles? I just want to get to the point you thought you were trying to make. Okay, Slybuster says, you're using outgrouping, so you don't have to face the fact your worldview is grandiose and silly. No, people that support Trump and Putin and Netanyahu, which these people do, I think you're just lying and saying you don't support Putin to try to get attention, which is fine. But if you were against Putin, what would your problem be with my worldview? Right, so you're trying to agree with him because y'all are on the same side, right? Isn't the side that you're on, that you're trying to make sure I'm not on your side, Trump's side, Putin's side? Slybuster says, you always give me attention, Andy. I don't have to lie about anything. Okay, here's your reality check, Andy. That sounds like the setup for you're going to say something. That'll be interesting. What's the something you're going to say? No, we're super bored. You guys are super boring. This person was going to try to sound intelligent for once, I guess. I've never gotten the impression they were intelligent before. Here comes their comment. You're just a small man, getting worked up about things well beyond your control. It's cool to have interest and all, but you've taken it to a pathological level. Okay, it's just Ray is here. They said, good morning or afternoon, how are you? Hope you're having a nice and good Friday. Yes, you too. It is good, and it's going to be better. I'm going to go get some food, so that'll make it better. Um, oh, would you like to vote, DeRay? Would you like to vote on one to stop? Okay. Yeah, so you're wrong and I'm right and you're jealous. I got it, Slybuster. Okay, Slybuster said, there's also the magical thinking. You think you can curse world leaders from your couch and impact world events. Well, look at the record of my live streams and videos. Look what's happening to Modi right now. He's getting overthrown. Didn't we just pivot and focus our attention on Modi last week or two ago? Like, it works. We don't have to focus on Orban or Bolsonaro anymore because they're gone. If Modi's the next one to go, good. I called it. You know, we make these things happen despite your efforts to stop us. You're doing great so far. Yeah, how great are you doing? Wait for what happens next. There's nothing wrong with magical thinking. Your magical thinking is just bad and stupid magic. Your magical thinking is to keep Trump and Putin and Netanyahu in place. Wise of you to vote against Putin. You know, a wise thing to do. But you don't back it up with your comments. You're just a liar. You're a liar and a troll. So if you could stop being a liar and a troll, then magical things would happen for you. You think you're doing great because, you know, your mom still brings you Hot Pockets in the basement or whatever. Like, that is great. Good for you. Nobody's knocking that. But you could be doing something instead of being a trash troll. And that's why you're here, but you're resisting the truth. So everybody likes Hot Pockets. Dude, that doesn't make you sympathetic. That doesn't make anybody care about you. The fact that you like Hot Pockets does not make up for you being a genocidal maniac. You know? Like, doesn't make up for you being a pedophile. Like, it's just, yeah, if you liked Hot Pockets and then you weren't those other things, then that'd be fine. But it's just not, it doesn't compensate for how terrible you are. Alright, so, DeRay. Okay, thanks for saying hello. You're awesome too. If you want to comment if you want to leave a vote, if you can't leave a vote, that's fine. Hello, James Chuddings. Would you like to leave a vote? If you could stop one of them, keep in mind, stopping one of them could stop the other ones too. But who would you stop first? I pretty much gave you the answer. Oh, that's a good choice. I mean, you had a good choice. That's a pretty good choice. Yeah, that's respectable. It's a lot more respectable than voting Putin and lying about it. It's a lot more respectable than voting AI, in my opinion. Somebody tried to claim that AI is the one that made Putin and Trump and Bibi the way they are. It's like, yeah, I mean, you can try to blame AI, but I wonder if I can vote. I don't think I can. So we got 3 votes. Nobody picked Trump. I kind of feel like it's wrong to shut this down before somebody picks Trump, because if you could vote for Netanyahu, I think you could also vote for Trump. Florida Cubans, go ahead and make a vote. Why do you want to be friends? I mean, I appreciate that, though. You pick Putin, too? Good vote. Okay. Excuse me. If you're against Putin, we could be friends. Slybuster also picked Putin. We could be friends, but I can't stand him. Like, he just. I'm starting to think now that he's just kind of stupid. But no, he's evil. Like, he's an evil, possessed Trumper. And so, what you want to do is be friends with Slybuster, I guess. You guys seem to have a lot more in common than either of you have in common with me. Although we all three picked Putin. Bibi and Putin are worst. Trump is a slave. I mean, that's what I think. Bibi and Putin. But I think Putin is. Wow. Whoa. I think Putin is the master of Bibi and Trump. And that's my problem with him. Oh, I missed your comment, James Chetting. Sorry. Oh my gosh, Slybuster had to go run. Is it SpongeBob Search for SquarePants? That's a good one. Big guy SpongeBob, pants okay. Yeah. You would have big guy SpongeBob pants okay stuck in your head for the rest of your life, so. Welcome to my world. Big guy SpongeBob pants okay. Okay. I think Trump is a slave, but I also think Netanyahu is a slave to Putin. So I think the correct choice is Putin, but really it's a respectable choice to pick Putin, Trump, or Netanyahu. To me, it shows that you're taken in by scapegoating to blame AI. What do I have? What do you mean, what do I have? Sorry, I gotta go. It's time for me to go to lunch. Haha, I bet Sly doesn't cry at children's movies. Haha. So, okay, this is the whole. It's like if you were Pete Hegseth, like actually Pete Hegseth, and you were looking for a man to get all sweaty and excited about. Like you're looking for Sly. You're like, let me think of Sly as Sly Stallone. Let me get sweaty and excited about him, right? Like Pete Hegseth. That's fine to just like men and muscles and whatever. You don't have to be this fascist Nazi to indulge those fantasies. You could just indulge those fantasies instead of being a fascist Nazi. You could let all your gay fantasies become gay realities and replace being a MAGA Trump here. No, it doesn't have anything to do with crying at children's movies. It has to do with the way you phrased the question. You said, "Ha ha, I bet Sly doesn't cry at children's movies. Ha ha." You could have said, "Ha ha, I don't cry at children's movies," and try to present yourself as manly because you think that's something important. Instead, you said Sly doesn't cry at children's movies. Like, Sly, before you go, I want you to know I think you're manly. I want to caress your muscles. You know, you could just say that. Nobody hates Cubans. I like Cubans more than you do. I don't exploit Cubans in order to. Anyway, what does that do with me crying at children's? It doesn't have anything to do with me crying at children's movies. It has to do with the way you said it because you want to caress Slybuster's muscles, and I was trying to tell you guys to do that when you were both here. He just said he had to go, and you were like, "Oh, before you go, know that I'm gay for you." I was telling him you were gay for him 20 minutes ago. You guys don't appreciate or like take advantage of anything because your entire lives is designed against anything good, to prohibit anything good. You're not Cuban, dude. Oh my gosh. We have this guy in here who pretends to be a black British MAGA supporter. Like, we can tell that you guys aren't what you say that you are because you lie about shit all the time. Like, it's like that guy claims he has a wife. He's in the live stream every single day. Every day he spends at least 1 hour in my live stream. He claims he has a wife. It's crazy. How jealous of his wife? How jealous of me must his wife be? His imaginary wife would have to be so jealous of me. Nobody's pretending to be a fairy. Yeah, you're the one supporting the oppression of your people, dude. You're the one who's cheering on people kidnapping Cubans in America. They kidnap Cubans in America. You cheer it on. Like, it's not hard to see who's oppressing your people. You don't have a wife, dude. I'm bringing up your imaginary wife because it's like, I'll be glad that the reason you and your imaginary wife get divorced is because you don't spend enough time with her because you're in my live stream all the time. That's ridiculous. But you deserve it, dude. I'm telling you right now, you're going to get a divorce because you're in my live stream all the time instead of you could be with your wife right now. It's crazy. That's a crazy thing, dude. You're going to get a divorce because of me. Because you're gay for me or something, or you can admit it, but you can admit you're gay for Trump, but Trump will never fuck you because you're too old and consenting. What the hell, dude? I've been telling you how to not be you, to not have all the problems you obviously have for a year now, 2 years now. Why are you so terrible? If you don't, you'll get a divorce, dude. You'll definitely get a divorce. I mean, if your imaginary wife was real, that you would get a divorce from that imaginary wife. That's all I'm saying. The thing is, I'm laughing at you. I'm not typing ha 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 ha. I'm laughing at you because if your imaginary wife was real, why do you support the Trump regime? It doesn't make sense, dude. You're trying to like do a gotcha instead of responding to you support ICE agents kidnapping Cubans. You're a Nazi supporting concentration camps, ICE agents kidnapping Cubans. And you're trying to act like you do a gotcha, like you have a gotcha to be done. You didn't respond to why are you supporting a Trump regime kidnapping Cubans for concentration camps? You tried to do a gotcha instead of answering the question. So how could I be friends with you? How could I not hate you? It's impossible not to hate Trump Hooteniers. Trump Hooteniers are the worst people that have ever existed. You stop being a Trump Hootenier and it would be possible to not hate you. It's really simple. It's like you could say you can never forgive somebody for being a Trump Hootenier, child predator or something. Yeah, you didn't deny that you support ICE kidnapping people and putting them in concentration camps. Don't you support ICE kidnapping Cubans and putting them in concentration camps? Isn't that what your side is? You're saying you're not a fan of Trump, but you still support that, right? You're a fan of Stephen Miller, right? Like, what's wrong with you? Why would you be like this? You're supporting Trump invading Cuba just because they resist Israel or something. Fuck your dog. Your dog's better off without you. Think about it. Your dog's in heaven or with somebody better than you. Good for that dog. Getting an upgrade. Like, I don't know what you want, dude. Yeah, you're fucking rude for existing. I haven't even got started with you. I'm shutting down the live so I don't. Fuck you. Everybody hates Trumpers. You get a lot of lie about not being a Trumper, so anybody will listen to you. That's pathetic. I don't got to lie about shit. Joel Phoenix does the same thing. He lies about being a Trumper, so anybody will listen to him. I don't got to lie about shit. He lies about having a wife. You know, it's pathetic. That's what you fantasize about. You fantasize about Trump and having a wife. I never lie about anything. Name one lie. Before I shut down the live, name one thing I've ever lied about. See? You got like 30 seconds. This is it. This is your last 30 seconds. Name a lie. Name a single lie. Nothing. See? Nothing's coming forth. He's got nothing to say. Yeah, I'm magic. I have proof. Look who's dead. Lindsey Graham, Moscow Mitch, probably Netanyahu. Modi's almost overthrown. Putin and Trump next to go. Netanyahu if it's not done. I win. I keep winning. You keep losing. You're total losers. Sorry. Keeps happening again and again and again. Bye. Cry about it. Whine harder. Whine harder, Trump Boutonniers. See, Florida Cubans is like, I don't support Trump. Trump is still your president. So you do support Trump. You just can't admit to supporting Trump because you're afraid of the way people hate Trump and how they hate. You know they hate you. You know that people hate you because of how much they hate Trump. So you're afraid to admit you like Trump. You're both the same. You're both a bunch of fucking cowards. Never admit you're Trumpers. That's all that you ever fucking were. So fuck you. Fuck Trump. Cursing Trump and Putin and Netanyahu through you. And Modi. Cursing Modi because Modi's about to go. Got to squeeze that one in.